Ever wondered how one city on the Italian peninsula came to control a territory stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia, all without email, phones, or even a printing press? This wasn't just luck or military might. It was a masterpiece of system design. Rome faced an immense challenge. How do you rule millions of people across continents when a message can take weeks or even months to arrive? The answer is that Rome built a system, a framework of control so effective it lasted for centuries. Let's break down how they did it. The first piece of the puzzle was the law. Roman law wasn't just a set of rules. It was a universal operating system. Whether you were a merchant in Syria or a farmer in Gaul, you were subject to the same legal principles. This created predictability and fairness. Local customs were often respected, but Roman law provided the ultimate authority. Resolving disputes and ensuring contracts were honored everywhere. This legal framework was administered by governors who acted as the emperor's representatives in the provinces. They commanded legions, collected taxes, and served as the supreme judge. While some were corrupt, the system itself provided a clear chain of command, with everyone knowing who was in charge. But laws and governors are useless if you can't project power and move resources. This brings us to Rome's most famous innovation, its infrastructure. The Roman roads are legendary for a reason. They weren't just for marching armies. They were the arteries of the empire. They enabled rapid communication via the cursus publicus, the state postal service. Official messengers could travel over 50 miles a day, a staggering speed for the ancient world. These roads also carried goods, tax revenue, and information binding the empire together. Along these roads, Rome built cities. These weren't just places to live. They were miniature Romes. Every new city had a forum, temples, bathhouses, and amphitheaters. They were standardized hubs of Roman culture, administration, and commerce. A citizen from Spain could walk into a city in North Africa and immediately feel a sense of familiarity and order. It was a brilliant form of cultural integration. So you have laws and infrastructure, but how do you make people in distant lands feel Roman? This is where symbols and the concept of authority came in. The emperor wasn't just a ruler. He was a living symbol of the empire's unity and power. His image was everywhere on coins, statues, and public buildings. The imperial cult, where the emperor was worshipped as a godlike figure, wasn't just about ego. It was a powerful tool for fostering loyalty. It gave diverse peoples a shared focus of reverence, transcending local gods and traditions. Similarly, the Roman legions weren't just fighting forces. Stationed in a province, a legion represented the undeniable presence of Roman power. The sight of disciplined soldiers, standardized Eagle Aquila standards, and organized force was a constant reminder of who was in charge. This psychological authority was often more effective than actual force. Most provinces were managed with relatively few troops because the idea of Roman power was enough to maintain order. So, how did this all work together in a distant province, say, in Britain? A governor appointed by Rome would reside in a purpose-built city like Londinium. He would use Roman roads to communicate with his officials and military commanders. Disputes between locals would be settled in a basilica according to Roman law. Taxes, collected in Roman currency bearing the emperor's face, would fund local building projects and the military, with the surplus sent back to Rome. Local elites were often co-opted into the system, given citizenship and roles in local government, giving them a stake in maintaining Roman rule. This created a self-reinforcing loop. Stability allowed for economic prosperity, which in turn made Roman rule desirable for many. The system worked because it offered something valuable in return for submission: peace, stability, and access to a massive, interconnected economy. The famous Pax Romana, or Roman peace, was the ultimate product of this system. For centuries, this intricate machine worked. But even the most robust systems have their limits. Rome's system relied on a few key things: continuous expansion to bring in new wealth, strong and competent emperors to sit at the top of the pyramid, and a military that was loyal to the state, not just their generals. When these pillars began to weaken, the entire structure started to wobble. The empire became too large to defend effectively. Constant civil wars drained the treasury and weakened the authority of the emperor. Communication delays that were manageable in a stable empire became critical weaknesses during a crisis. An invasion in the east might not be fully understood in Rome for months, by which time it could be too late. The system was designed for stability, not for rapid multi-front crises. Ultimately, the very systems that made Rome strong also contained the seeds of its decline. The reliance on a single powerful emperor created instability when the line of succession failed. The vastness managed by Rhodes became a vastness that was impossible to defend. The administrative machine grew so large and complex that it became a burden on the economy. The story of Rome's control is not just about conquest. It's about the brilliant, deliberate creation of a system of law, infrastructure, and authority. And it is a timeless lesson that even the greatest systems depend on a delicate balance of coordination, trust, and the ability to adapt. When that balance is lost, even an empire built to last forever can begin to crumble. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this look into the systems of history, make sure to like and subscribe for more.